You know what's interesting about the beauty industry? Sometimes the best connection starts with unexpected meetings. And in today's chat, we're going to dive into that conversation. Hey, DP Beauties, welcome back to my channel. I'm your girl, Donna Prescott, the CEO and founder of Donna Prescott Beauty. And March has ran through quickly. I can't believe we're like 3 months into the year already. And so much has happened this month. And you guys know that we're only doing one chat a month moving forward with our transition. And I'm excited about today's chat. So let's dive into this conversation. So you guys know I always have these solo conversations, but joining me today is a young lady that I met unexpectedly, and we're going to get into that. I want you guys to meet Kaywana Gordon. She's the owner and founder of Naked Clean, a brand all about empowering women and inviting men to embrace self-care without a stigma. Guys, in just a little over a year, Kaywana has created a beautiful line of organic products. This line includes body oils, soaps, scrubs, beard oils, and she is now launching something amazing, and I'll let her tell you about it. Say hello to Kaywana. So welcome Miss Kaywana, and she's better known as Kiki. She always wants us to talk to her and call her Kiki. So today's chat is surrounding how we met and the severity of trusting new stylists. So tell the people about yourself and let's give them a story time of how we met.
Hi, once again, my name is Kaywana, Kiki is fine, and I met Donna through a TikTok ad. And she had a $69 sewing special. The special included your braid down, your styling, and of course, doing your hair. I was very, very terrified and skeptical because one, I didn't know if it was a scam. Two, I didn't know if I was going to get kidnapped.
Oh my gosh.
And three, I didn't know the quality I would receive based on the price of the product.
So when she sat in my chair, we had a very interesting conversation, guys. She was telling me all about like her uncertainty and how scared she was with this and her process, which she's about to tell you guys. And we were just chatting and cracking up because I was not aware that you guys go through a lot booking stylists. Like people are traumatized with booking hairstylists in 2026. So let the people know like some of the experiences that you've encountered as well and some of the things that you were telling me.
So the first thing is, even though the price, I mean, we're in a year when everybody's doing everything on a budget when it comes to your hair, nails and everything, but the very first thing was the price. I was very skeptical of the price considering what you were offering for that price.
So what you were saying, I was just offering dirt cheap stuff out here?
Exactly. It is, because people do that. And then the second thing is I was concerned about the quality. Okay. Because a lot of times when people offer these services, from me being a customer sitting in the chair, you get a $69 deal. So you don't expect top tier quality service. You don't expect top tier quality hair products. From the beginning of the process to the end, it's basically you are paying $69. So it's almost like you're conditioned and expecting that whatever you get because you're only paying $69.
Wow, I've never thought about it in that way because honestly, firstly, I ran the deal because of the climate that we're in. I just feel like it's like hard out here in these streets. And even for me as a small business owner, right? I was like, $69 is really undervaluing the price of my sewing for real. But I never thought about like, okay, I'm going to do $69, but I will cut down the service experience, maybe the products that I use, maybe shift to a cheaper thing. I never thought about it in that way. Every time that I offered a deal, I gave the same experience, whether it was the $300 service or $69. So tell them, how was your experience with me?
Here's another catch to it. It's the $69, but after you complete your service, what is your bill? Because remember the night when we spoke on the phone and I asked you,
yes,
because a lot of times you have to pay extra for the braid down. You have to pay extra if you're adding braids. You have to pay extra for the styling. You have to pay extra for the hair next.
Oh my God.
So there's not only the $69, there's also the what is my bill after.
Oh, so you were thinking coming in like $69, there has to be a cash.
But maybe it's $150 when you're done with my hair.
Wow. Okay, so with me, it is what I say it is. So can you tell the people what was the experience for you? Because did you have to pay extra? Did you feel like it was cut down on the service, the experience? Like, give them a breakdown.
No. So the first thing, like I said, when I came here, another thing was I was genuinely worried if it was real and if your business was real. And if you were So even coming here, parking here, seeing the building, I was like, I wonder if somebody takes somebody else's company and they're running the special underneath
Oh my
it.
God.
But it actually wasn't. So the biggest thing was, am I going to end up on the news this afternoon missing?
Did you do any research beforehand?
I did do all of this research, but again, none of this research matters because a lot of people, everything, you can cross your T's and dot your I's, and you still end up getting scammed out of your money. You show up to someone's salon, and they have no idea what you're talking about. So this is real, and this is things that have happened. Wow. But I came in and, I braced for it and braced for impact. Like I said, when I came in, from the greeting to the minute you sat in the chair, you asked me what I wanted. You even checked the condition of my hair.
Oh my God.
From the braid down, the pattern that you'd use, what would be better for me. I explained to you I'm transitioning from relaxed to straight hair, and you factored all of that in with that $69 special. So sat in your chair, started from the braiding process, which was painless, tender-headed, sensitive scalp, easily triggered with migraines. It was very delicate. You treated my hair as if it valued something.
Wow.
And you treated it as though it's almost like this is your first and your last. You gave it your everything.
Are you getting paid to say this?
No, it would have been nice. That's because you did what you were supposed to do. So I'm not coming and camera line for nobody.
I love this. Yeah.
So the breakdown was to the T. That was the first thing that sold me on. And then when you said, do you need a net or not? And I'm like, so I actually get to pick extra stuff too, and the net. And before even getting to the net, you made sure that my scalp was oiled and it was quality products. That's another thing. It wasn't no dumpster diving hair grease from out of the pot. It was quality products straight down until start in the sewing. The pattern of the sewing, how you sewed my hair, it wasn't dragged together by a 6-year-old. It was done impeccable to the T. At the end of it, I had the option if I wanted my hair bone straight or if I wanted it curled at no extra cost. And you were also explaining to me that if I'm doing certain services for people, adding on certain things doesn't make any sense because it's a part of it. It's like charging for shampoo and then charge you extra for the water. Right. You did educate me a lot and stuff, and explain why you didn't do the extras behind your pricing. But for my confirmed that I wasn't going to get kidnapped, to sitting in your chair all the way through. And a lot of people asked me after the fact if I actually paid that $69. Wow. That was a question through and through. And even the styling that you did, it wasn't hurried. You took your time. You perfected your craft and you showed craftsmanship, quality. You got the $69 special, but you didn't get a $69 experience. I felt I spent $400 that day. Had you charged me, I would have paid it, but you weren't smart enough.
Y'all see that? That's why I charge your worth. But so honestly, guys, I don't even know how I came up with the $69. It popped up in my head and I just was like, I'm going to go with it. And initially when I ran it, it was supposed to be ran for 1 month. And it was so successful. I went viral on TikTok and my books were booked out for the first complete month. And I was like, oh my God, this has never actually happened to me before. And it did present that there was a need for it, right? So I rolled with it, and the first month I actually gave everything that I gave in my actual full service. So it came with a shampoo, conditioner, your blowout, your braid down, your net, your install, your style. And I realized, okay, that was a bit too much, Donna, because I really overworked myself. So something in me said, do it again. But this time, I try to work it a little smarter. So what I did was I took the shampoo and conditioner out of it and added it as an add-on. So clients had the option to pick if they wanted to add the shampoo to the service for additional fee or just do the $69 and come already hair clean, and we just proceed with all the other things. I did that. It went viral again. It was still a success. And I met so many amazing people through this process that great stories. And I feel like the best stories were more than some of the stories that were just like, we're going to get into that, right? But while Kiki was in my chair, she was telling me about like some horror stories that she has heard, even maybe experienced out there. And it was just so surprising to me. I mean, tell the people.
So, I mean, like I said, a lot of people started doing specials because, again, everybody's trying to be on a budget and you still want to take care of yourself. And self-care is very important. But I also think that people take advantage of people's need for self-care. So there's people out there that are offering, and I'm not knocking anybody or refuting or bashing anybody, but there are people out there that are offering the service. And what you're getting for the service is almost like you have no right, you have no say from coming in. Like I said, when I came in, my spot was ready. There was never a wait time. I've had people had to wait 3-4 hours past their appointment. I've had people that had to switch and had the owner take over to do their hair. And at the end of the service, they were greeted with a different charge. At the end of the service, it's like, oh, but I added braids to your hair. Oh, but I oiled your hair. Oh, but I styled your hair. It was just a continuous list. And there was no accountability on the stylist part. Mind you, I know that clients aren't the easiest to deal with. There's no accountability. There's never an apology. There was never some form of remorse for what happened. It was genuinely, well, you're paying $100 what you expect. And a lot of people have experienced, and I've experienced, people not saying it word for word, but the tone of the conversation and how the entire process carried out, you instantly knew that it's almost like I'm doing you a favor.
Wow.
I never experienced that with you. That's why I said, like, everything that you did from that day was very surprising to me because of the horror stories I've heard and I've experienced. I've done my hair, gotten home and taken it down at 2-3 o'clock in the morning. I've done my hair and it hasn't lasted a week because of the poor quality, how it was executed, and just how tender-headed, and it was just a nightmare through and through.
Wow. So I've been doing hair for about 26 years now. I do have a lot of experience, and I feel like I've had to fine-tune myself as a hairstylist. I've had like so many different encounters that have made me also have to look into myself as well as a stylist. And I'm glad that I am that type of person that it's not hard for me to take feedback. I don't think I'm the best stylist out here, and I don't feel like I am the type of...
Yeah, that's
oh
straight.
My goodness. Yes, y'all heard it from her mouth, right?
Give you the flowers.
Thank you. But I also feel like I leave room for improvement for myself as well. And in my journey, I feel like if a client is paying money to get a service, it's important for me as well to make sure that I'm giving them the results that they want, or at least listening. Now, have I fell short? Yes, many times. There are times where there were some hard pills I had to swallow as a hairstylist. And I could give you guys some examples because Kiki was just literally saying about like no accountability. I remember I had a client that was running late, and my grace period is 15 minutes. And
oh, you don't get that without getting charged.
And I don't have a fee. Okay. At 15 minutes, if you call me to say, hey, I am running a little bit beyond that, at my discretion, depending on how you reach out to me and the conversation that we have, I still sometimes accommodate these clients. So in particular, this day, this client was like, I'm going to be about 30 minutes late. And I told her, no, we have to reschedule you. But she was like, I came all the way from Jersey. I'm actually getting married on the weekend. And while I don't have to take all these things into consideration, she started sharing some extra things, and I was like, okay, yeah, she could have been playing on my heartstrings. I don't know if it's the honest truth or whatever, but it's like something in you tells you like, okay, do it. So I was like, all right, let me just reach out to my other client and let her know that I'm going to be delayed a bit. And I decided to accept this client. She still ended up coming 45 minutes late. Okay. Comes in, which pushes everybody else after her behind, right? So now I was actually an hour late for maybe like my third client in the day, and she came and she was very patient. She was sitting there. I know she was worried, and I was trying to talk her through it to actually do it, but she also came from far. So she said to me, hey Donna, like, I don't think this is going to work out. I have to cancel this appointment. I, as the hairstylist, took accountability in the form of like, hey, okay, here's what I could do. We could reschedule you, and I'm still willing to offer you something, a free service as well. So she said, she don't think she's going to be able to come out because she's really, really far. Right. So I said, okay, I'll give you a refund, and I'm still going to offer you a free service in the future if you would like. Anytime, just let me know and we could schedule that. So I still try to find ways, because I don't feel like it's right for us to be like, if you're 15 minutes late, you pay this fee. But if I'm running late, then what happens?
Then what happens?
You know, I really feel like there needs to be a balance, and I try to practice that as well.
There is no balance. And that's the thing, there is no balance, because if I'm late, you charge me $25, $30, $40, $100, whatever it is that you charge. And that's fine. I'm late. But when I come into your chair and I have to sit here for 3-4 hours, 5 hours, but also sitting for 4 or 5 hours, especially if you have somebody that's inexperienced doing my braid down or my washing or whatever the situation is, I'm paying you for a service, you are charging me for being late, but then when it's on your shoe, I get nothing out of it. Sometimes an apology is suffice for a lot of people.
Right.
I'm firm on
even acknowledging it, right?
And it's how you go about it. It was like, well, I'm sorry. If you generally say, listen, I'm sorry, next time you come, this is what you'll get, but this is free, or whatever, you work it out, because guess what? You have to be happy and I have to be happy.
Yes.
I need you for a service that I can't do, but you equally need me to pay your bills.
Yes.
So it's a marriage.
Yes.
It is a marriage. And I think that's very big, where it's always on the clients. And yes, clients have the reputation of showing up late, just not showing up, canceling, and we know the whole story.
Yes.
And life happens and stuff like that. But
there are hairstylists as well that are unprofessional, that just cancel appointments at last minute, that push you off,
And sometimes there's no conversation. Like one of the experiences, I knew someone that had an appointment, hypothetically speaking, let's say 3:00. And on her way there, it changed to 5:30.
Wow.
And then in the midst of her driving there, it changed again to 4:00.
Oh.
So she was like, okay, then I'll go get food, kill time. I don't have to rush in traffic, all of that nonsense. And during all of that cancellation, when she finally got there, she had a whole 4 or 5 hour period still waiting, to the point where she felt like she was going to volunteer to start her hair herself to catch up back on time. And like I said, the end of the service, the owner had to step in, had to, finish her hair, and then her hair was finished. Boom, she was hit with a different price because the owner finished her hair. There was never an apology. There's absolutely nothing. What do I get for you wasting 6.5 hours out of my day?
I see. And I cannot believe that stuff like that is actually happening out there.
Again, it was a special.
Oh, she booked a special with a
There was a special running. So she's already conditioned. You get what you get. You're getting it at a lower rate. So what do you expect? And that's the type of tone, and that's the bar that is set, and that's how everything is set prior to. So listen, this is what you're paying for. Don't come rushing me if you see someone in my chair. Don't be stressing me out if somebody braid your pattern crooked. Don't be stressing me out if the tracks are fighting for their lives, or the train's running off track, and you're done and you're out my chair.
Wow.
And no one cares but what if she never comes back?
That is true. Because sometimes we feel like, you're just indisposable. Like, we'll always find somebody
needs their hair to be done.
Right. Oh my God. I mean, I have been practicing not to be that way. And the things that I haven't gotten perfect, I try to work on them. So there was an example for me. So there were a few things that happened through my $69 service deals, right? So I do remember a client, she booked the service, and I was extremely busy, and it just started becoming a lot for me. So 2 things happened. Firstly, I got someone to assist me, and a client that had already used the service before rebooked, and at her second service, she sat in my chair, and I said to her, hey, I have an assistant, and she's going to braid you for me. So the braids started happening, and then she said, you know what, Donna, hold on. I feel that I should speak up. I don't want to sit through this and not say something, and then when I leave, I'm mad. So I want to say something to you. So I was like, hey, so what's going on? And she says, I really want you to complete my hair. So I said, I am going to complete your hair, but this is my assistant. She's just helping me out with the breakdown. So she was like, well, I paid for you to do my hair. The last time I got the service, you did everything. So I don't want this to be different. I want everything to go as perfect as the last time. And this is what I want. So again, I have to respect the fact that of what she's saying to me. So now we broke out into a conversation. I'm so grateful for this girl and giving me the freedom to have like a back and forth conversation with her
from something
and
from
explain to her where I was coming from, and then it made me see where she was coming from.
Right.
So it did make sense that your first service you had this experience, and now this is different, and wait, I'm just a little worried. So I started explaining to her that as a hairstylist, we sometimes work with assistants. And she said, yes, I've heard of that before, but generally when I book somebody, they're the person that takes care of my hair. So I said, okay. Also, I'm also not going to put somebody to do your breakdown that I don't feel is competent of offering the same quality of service that I would prefer, right? Yeah. So she was like, yes, why you say that, I don't know, but it's not like she's doing anything wrong, but again, so I'm like, and then there's also the point where I'm not a machine and sometimes I need help, knocking out 6 clients a day is very taxing on your body, and the assistant would help us move faster and also be easier so that I'm giving my most quality while working, right? So she was like, okay, I understand some of this stuff, and she was like, okay, I get it. So she made this point to me, which I just couldn't knock down. She said, I feel like you need to put that as a part of your policy. So I said, you know what, you're right. Yeah, you're right. Thank you for bringing this to my attention. It never occurred to me before for me to say, hey, if you book me, sometimes you might have someone who might shampoo, blow dry you, or braid you down, right? Because it might not be your norm. And expect sometimes that may be the case. So I said, you know what, to protect myself in the future where, I don't have to really go back and forth with someone.
It's already written there.
Written in the policy. So she taught me that, and she actually did let the young lady continue braiding her, and everything worked out fine in that situation. A lot of times
it's experience, because I've again gone into chairs where there's an assistant, and here's the thing, nothing is wrong with an assistant, but there's that fear of a lot of people just grab assistants, and mind you, everyone is at a learning stage before you perfect your craft, and sometimes they're at that stage where they have to watch behind the chair, not be at the chair carrying out the service. And a lot of people, because they're so hell-bent on greed and just scooping the money, just have their assistant come in. They'll have the assistants who are not ready yet to perform the service too. So a lot of people have that fear of, am I going to get that quality? And sometimes, again, that reassurance that you gave her, like, listen, if it's not up to par with what I would do in your hair, I would never ever play with your hair like that. It's a big difference. A lot of people push it on you. I've gone into chairs and I'd be like, no, I want you to do my hair. Because a lot of stylists do this. It's underneath a weave. No one will see it. So no one really cares for the foundation.
True. That is true.
You've actually taught me the importance of having a good braid down before even carrying out the service of doing your weave.
Yes.
And you have to also understand, on the stylist hand, we all have assistants. You have assistants at the office. Wherever you go, there's assistants. Yes. But whomever is there has to be competent enough to carry out the same level of service.
Yes.
But having that in your policy, one, sets the tone. And I feel like, two, when a client comes in and you say, listen, my assistant's going to shampoo you or she's going to braid you down, but I'm still going to do your service. Trust me, she knows what she's doing. Because I don't want to deal with the training. Some people are like that.
Right.
But then also, you're protecting yourself, you're protecting them. And they don't even realize having an assistant gives you a better quality because you're not burnt out.
Yes.
Doing their service, you're still at that speed that you can carry out quality, because you are human and you will burn out.
Very much so. And I feel like there needs to be like some sort of transparency where you're telling the client, like, if, for instance, I was going to have our assistant train on someone,
right?
I feel like there should be space and room for that. I wouldn't just say, you're booking your $300 service, let me put a trainee on your head to train. I wouldn't do that.
Call up a friend and say, hey,
exactly,
I'm doing this, do you want to come through? Or run a promotion,
that
something.
The assistant is going to be running a special for $50 for this, so now you know exactly what you're coming into, and not just like throwing something at you.
Surprise.
So yeah, so that was one of the experiences. So I had an experience with a client who booked a service for sewing, but also I was extremely jam-packed, and I had help that particular day. So she came in, and I was telling her that, is it okay that my my stylist that's helping me, mind you, the stylist is licensed. She has just as much experience as myself. And again, like I said, I wouldn't just throw on anybody onto you to do the service. So she was like, yeah, it's okay. Because I was explaining to her that I really needed the help. I needed to sit for a minute. I needed to eat or whatever the case may be. So the stylist came on, took over. She was doing the hairstyle. They had a conversation about like the expectation of the service that she was going to receive. Now, based on the, she was getting a closure sewn actually. And based on the closure that she brought, firstly, sometimes like clients buy anything and bring it in and expect like a particular result, right? Sometimes it could happen, sometimes it can't.
Right.
I will always do the best of my ability to give you the best service that I possibly can, because it's no point for me to run my business and to just put garbage out there, right? So through the service, there was a discussion that was had of what was possible with what she brought.
Right.
Okay, so we got to the end of the install and she looked at herself in the mirror and she was like, oh my God, I don't like how this looks. So, you know, there was a back and forth with her and the stylist about like, well, this is the reason this. They were going back and forth. So then so I'm like, okay, hey, what's going on? Like, what about it? And now I joined the conversation.
Right.
And then she's explained to me like, Donna, like, look at this. Like, do you really feel like this is something that I should leave it with? Like, I really don't like how this looks. And at the end of the day, it's your right. Like, you're paying for your service. If you don't feel good about something, yes, let's work around it. So I was like, okay, I'm going to step in and I'll repair this for you, because let's try to make this for you to be happy.
Yeah.
And I honestly felt like it took me some time. Like, I stepped in and I spent the next hour like taking down, reinstalling, and actually trying to refine what was done. And it looked damn good to me.
Right.
I mean, and I'm not just saying that, it really looked good. At that point, like, she looked like she had like kind of simmered down into like, okay, well, you know, this
I feel better about this. This can work. Yeah.
Exactly. And towards the end of the styling and everything, you know, she seemed happy. She didn't express any more like unhappiness about or dissatisfaction about anything. So I'm feeling like, yeah, she's good. Then only to find out like the next day I'm like getting a tag on TikTok saying that, you know, my friend booked Donna Prescott Beauty, and Donna Prescott just threw a trainee on her hair and, you know, messed up her hair, and not even Donna Prescott could fix the service. And it was just a waste of money down the drain or whatever, and tags me in this. And I'm just like looking at it, it's a fake page. There's no followers and whatnot. But I'm like, my only issue with that is like, this is a client that I've dealt with multiple times. You're not like a new client. And granted that you didn't feel comfortable like speaking up in the moment, you could have sent me a text.
Even when you got home, and that's what I said, like, just as how she expressed to you, yeah, this isn't working out, I like this, and you're like, okay, let me see what I can do. You fixed it, and then she's like, okay, I could work with this. I know sometimes when they say it takes a while for the style to marinate and settle in. Okay. So like after you reach home and you're like, you know what, I'm still not happy with this. I felt like because of how you've dealt with her and the rapport and the relationship that you've had over a period of time, it would have been easier for her to say, hey, I still don't like this. What can we do? Give you the option, because then she's selling a message as though you screwed up my hair. I've had to pay for that screwed up, and you've made no efforts to remedy it, which you've remedied once, and it's her right again, and she still doesn't like it after the fact. You say, here, what? I'm going to give you a refund, or guess what? Take it down and you can rebook this time to have it done. Something would have been done, because there's a difference between people who take accountability and people who don't, and then also people who don't give you the opportunity to take accountability. Because a lot of times people are guilty of this. They go to a stylist, they don't like it, and then they go on social media and they talk about it when you have never had a conversation. You are learning about it when everyone else is learning about it.
Very much so.
So that is
I feel crazy. Like that was exactly what happened in this case. And you know, I just expected a little bit better, but again, that was one of the experiences there. That was
and you ain't right. You've been in this 26 years.
Listen, that's why I'm retiring this chair, because it's like times is up. And then I feel like